Hello, and this video comes from a comment made by Ari Supersnake, which was should bipoded LMGs be removed from the game. LMGs are very powerful weapons, and with bipods they become very accurate weapons. LMGs are so powerful that Battlefield Hardline has removed them altogether. The description of the bipod says it improves the stability and accuracy when deployed. But do you actually know what that means? Well, I can show you exactly what it means by going to synthic.com and comparing an M249 with the bipod deployed against an M249 without the bipod. And you can see the change is actually quite dramatic. The recoil upwards is reduced by 90% and the recoil left and right is reduced by 75%, and the first shot recoil is reduced by 85%. So the bipod dramatically reduces the amount of recoil that the gun has when it fires. But it's not just the recoil. If you look at the spread is reduced by between 90 and 95% as well, depending on what position you are. Now of course with a bipod you're usually looking down the scope and you're not moving, so the spread is reduced by 95%. Like most things in Battlefield 4, it does have its issues. It often won't deploy even on the smoothest of surfaces, and deploying behind cover can often leave you staring into the cover. So I'll show you the major reason why you get strange bipod deployments behind cover. So here I am, bipoded on top of this box, but I haven't deployed the bipod on the box. It deploys the gun onto the box, and the bipod is still hanging underneath the gun. So that's why you get a much lower vision when you bipod than you often expect, because it's not the bipod that's going on top of the cover, it's the gun. The other issue with the bipod is its arc of fire. There is no way that you could move a gun around like this and be counted as staying still. But no matter how much you're swinging that gun around, you get all the benefits of the bipod if you fire. But does any of this mean that the bipoded LMGs are overpowered in game? And the answer is sometimes. The bipod is the only situational attachment in the game, and by situational I mean you can use it or you cannot use it. Most attachments in the game are on and their effects are permanent while you've got them attached to the gun, but the bipod's bonuses only come when you deploy it. However, when it's not deployed, it doesn't really have any negatives. So deploying the bipod like this on a map that you know's got lanes and entrances, you can go prone, deploy the bipod and use it to its full advantages. But you can also get up and run around with your LMG and shoot it like normal. True, you don't get the bonuses of a foregrip if you've got a bipod attached, but that's not really much of a penalty. So the bipod gives you the combination of massive bonuses when it's deployed and no negatives when it's not. So back to the question, should LMGs with bipods be removed from the game? My answer to that is no. LMGs with bipods are a feature of Battlefield and they're a feature of the real world. It does need fixing, however. One thing that desperately needs fixing is the glitchy way you can deploy the bipod. As you can see here, my gun is actually below ground level. The only thing the enemy can see is the top of my scope and the top of my head. This needs fixing. The bipod actually needs to deploy. Not resting the gun on things, having the bipod rest on the cover that you are behind. But how do you balance the bipod in operation? How do you stop people still being able to just hose down areas and people with the gun standing and moving, and then going prone, deploying the bipod and getting a laser beam accurate weapon? Well, here's my suggestion for that. If you attach a bipod to your LMG, you cannot use a barrel attachment. Now the bipod already takes up the underbarrel slot, but imagine if when you attached a bipod you also lost the barrel attachment. This is going to have two main effects. It's going to put bipoded LMGs onto the minimap, They won't be able to run suppressors, they won't be able to run flash hiders, so they're going to be easier to spot. Means that yes, you'll be able to go bipoded, get some kills, but then you're going to have to move because you show up on the minimap when you're using a bipod. The second effect of losing barrel attachments comes into play when they're not using the bipod. Because they've lost the barrel attachment, there's no option to have a muzzle brake or a compensator. And because they've already sacrificed that foregrip slot for the bipod, they're having to use the LMG on the move with its full recoil. They're going to have no recoil reduction at all unless they're using the bipod. And that means you'll get two specific loadouts for LMG. You're going to get muzzle brake and foregrip for those who want to use an LMG on the move, but if you do want to use a bipod, then you're going to have to sacrifice those to get the massive recoil reduction when you're fixed in place. So that's my solution to fixing bipoded LMGs. Just remove their ability to have a barrel attachment when they've got a bipod attachment. And of course, fix the deploying glitches that come along with the bipod. So let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think this solution would work? And do you have solutions of your own? Thanks for watching.